Ah, there it is. There is the Ashe ban. So FPX knows this as well. You know, oh, yeah, that's a karma pick. But FPX does ban away that Ashe, which kind of cancels out the Ashe Lux composition. I love that ban from FPX. It's a respect ban. They know Omegha Esports can pull it off, so they ban it away.
Yeah, and Karma's been played twice now. Just FPX saying, we can give that over to you. It doesn't matter. We get our stable picks. We get just, you know, they're giving us nothing here. FPX, they just show us nothing. Just the most stable draft all around. One thing I want to raise a little bit here, it hasn't quite been touched on because Ziezi hasn't played the Singed yet, but domestically, he's 10-0 on Singed.
Wow.
So a huge respect ban there.
Oh, wow. I just, like, as you mentioned, Omo, because they're not giving us anything, I really do wonder if there's anything that FPX, you know, is there? There has to be another level to FPX. I wonder what kind of monster is hiding behind the door here that is the same thing.
That's what we want to see, right? Something like this, something a bit odd, something that gives you the potential to just dive and pick someone off. It's not the Ashe, but I think it's good enough.
Definitely, like, Vike has some very, very good diving. She can also fight Lee Sin in that early game.
Yeah.
But what else are you going to follow it up with? Is it going to be the Galio? Are they still going to pick that Lux? Are they still going to pick some Q's compositions? I think you all in on dive as well. Like, yeah, Garen is great as well. Very, very tanky, but you're still up against that Lee Sin from FPX.
But this is good, right? Because they're reassessing what worked for them here. The Garen was a huge part of their win against BRU, but like we said, FPX is not BRU. You show the Garen immediately, they answer Fiora.
Yeah, and that's a Fiora pick as well, which is the perfect counter to Garen and the Vi, because essentially as a Vi, you cannot engage on a Fiora. She's gonna riposte you and she's gonna ult you and you die. So FPX instantly knowing the answer to that. Also the answer to the Garen. Now Omegha Esports has to pick the range champion.
I can just see FPX coach adjusting his glasses a little bit. It's like, you've fallen into my trap.
Oh yeah. But Mine, however, he plays those ADCs. I want to see him on an ADC for sure this game, because Fiora does struggle against the range champions, and Omegha Esports does have the Karma, which is a great support for an ADC. So I want to see the Ezreal, I want to see the Drave, and I want to see the Tristan. Like, I want to see the big ADCs come through from Omegha right now.
Even in the draft, it feels like FPX are still playing a perfect game. They are just prepared.
Yeah.
And because it's a battle between the coaches right now, it's also kind of intense to see them like looking around, and then, you know, like as Omo mentioned, you know, the coach adjusting the glasses and everything. It just felt like such a power move that time.
It's actually, I made it up. Yeah. I made it up.
Wow, I believed you, Omo. I trusted you. I trusted you. I'm sure he has adjusted his glasses at some point, okay?
Okay, so, yeah, fair enough. But, you know, at least FPX, at least we can say FPX has shown us something new. At least Omegha has brought something new to the table.
Fiora, right?
Forced the Fiora pick, yeah. And still, but at the end of the day, FPX are going to go back to what works for them. Double poke, long range.
Yeah.
This is their bread and butter here. The Jace Cocky.
Definitely. And now Omegha Esports, Veigar. Oh my god, this is the Veigar moment. This is the Veigar moment that I want to see, because there are so many bruisers on the side of FPX, so many melee champions. Sure, Corkid can do fine against Veigar, but this is a Veigar angle to me. You can get to that late game, and Veigar can just absolutely... There's a Draven, I just mentioned it! That's also what is nice. Mine finally picking the things that he's good at. It's either the Ezreal or the Draven, and this is it. Draven Karma. Push in the early game and absolutely destroy FPX in the early game and then win the game. There it is.
Snatch your trash here. Maybe that's the option. Snatch your trash and put the Karma mid.
Put Karma mid.
Nice too, yeah. Maybe Alistair, maybe Trash, something aggressive. I think that's your win condition here. And
I like this a lot.
Yeah, let's see what they lock in though. This final pick is gonna really tell you what they want to do.
There's the Veigar too! Hey, I read them like a book! I read them like a book this time. They got the early game with Draven and they got a Veigar as well. I mean, I gotta take credits for this one. This is exactly what I wanted to see, but let's see if they can actually make it work.
Both Veigar and Draven at the same time, that raises some question marks for me. Because Draven, you need to support him in the early stages. Veigar cannot do that. He's a slow champion.
Veigar will carry the late game though, against that composition of FPX. And how do you get there? That's with the Draven.
Yeah.
That is the plan, right? Like, that is the plan.
In theory, right?
In theory, that does work. But I definitely see 0711 go super aggressive onto that Draven with the Lee Sin.
Well, do we have another 2-0? Well, we're not sure, potentially, but it seems like Omegha is poking and prodding here to see what else FPX has in store. In the meantime, let's go over to game 2. Back to it's Grandin and it's Stewart.
See, Mika, I think I have an issue with that. FPX literally don't want to tell us what they have in store.
Finals against Vivo Keeds, but then you have scaling in terms of Veigar in the mid lane, but then you have the aggression in the bot side as well with Draven. So I feel like it's very, very split and
punished right away. Suits double something that's burnt in the mid lane. FPX start off game number 2 strong. Now, I know you guys hear Stuart's voice, it's very cheery, he sounds really happy all the time, you know, just giving us analysis. But when he saw the Veigar Draven, you had to see it to believe it. You know, Stuart was looking and it's like, yeah, nah, this ain't itchy.
It's not it. I would have liked maybe the Karma mid and maybe another Enchanter support and really go for this, you know, full Almine combo. Look at this. Omegha are the ones that actually decided to lane swap.
Which was interesting because one of the big points we saw from last game was Huya with the aggression against Fado.
Yeah, exactly. That was a big point. You know, especially with Huya on the Garen now. Sorry, you would have thought they would like to play super aggressive. This is a pick that he played against Brilliant when he went for the 1 versus 3 crazy outplays, crazy aggression, and we saw in the last game as well with that Shen versus Wukong matchup. Huya was the one that was playing aggressive, but now in this 1 versus 2 situation. He is in a solo lane now against Corki, but you can't really play that aggressive against Corki. Corki's just going to valve your weight, but I'm not too sure. Omegha are going for this lane swap, but the problem is that a Draven, he wants to try and get early trades. He does like the most damage out of any other AD carry, has one of the biggest base ADs.
Right.
But now you're just going into like a 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 2 situation where you can't really win out the trades.
And it is, you know, something to be seen here against FPX, where you do have the range versus melee matchup, gives you a little bit more strength there, but it gets spotted out by the side. Having a difficult time going for the dive, but that's really the issue here for Omegha right now. They can get close, they can do damage, they can poke them out, but you still can't dive them.
Yeah, you can't dive a set, you can't dive a Fiora because they're still going to have their summoner spells and
so much output potential.
Yeah, Benignis was trying to look towards the top side there, but I mean, you don't have this crazy aggressive support that can maybe go in like a Thresh, like an Alistar or something like that, which is something that we were talking about in draft as well. Is that if they go for an aggressive bot side with like a Thresh or an Alistar, I think Omo mentioned it as well. That's something that could be paired really, really well with a Draven, because Draven is a crazy early aggressive AD carry. He wants to get an early advantages, you want to get the early stacks, and you want to get as much gold as possible when it comes to the team fights.
And something I was hoping for was that with Suits coming in here with the Veigar, maybe the Event Horizon was supposed to give them some crowd control, but honestly, you know, it's not the most reliable spell to use if you're looking to engage a fight, for example.
Exactly, there's not really any other. I mean, you have the Vi for engage. If you want to, you can go for the Vi engage, and then on top of that, the Event Horizon as well. But the problem is that Suits already had a huge disadvantage in this early game. He stepped up a little bit too far and he lost his flash and his barrier. He does have it back up now, but it means that he can't look for these, you know, maybe roams that he could try and look for the Event Horizon as well with Benignis, because I feel like that's a duo that can definitely look to try and catch out the members for FPX. But for now, nothing too crazy is happening. We are getting into a stable state, but look at this.
Hiding out in the brush, Benignis flashes away. You just quickly see Huya moving over as well, but FPX quickly chase them out of their own jungle.
And now it's FPX the ones that are playing aggressive. They're going in for the invades, but Benignis is going in.
But of course, the fight, they move in to get the silence off, and First Blood goes over to Omegha as they force FPX out.
Yeah, the Event Horizon, we mentioned it. They're getting catch out onto Fado, and it's Suits that actually picks up the First Blood here for Omegha. So that's more stacks towards the Veigar. You got the scaling as well from the Veigar, which Hals mentioned during the analyst test as well, is that if you maybe pick something with a little bit more scaling that can help you in the mid and late game, this is maybe a window where FPX might struggle against, but you still have this Draven. You still have the stacks building up from this Draven. We need to try and see a kill or something on this Draven.
But make no mistake here, as we look at Omegha going into the series, they are still the first seed out from Brazil, and they are looking to play. Whether that's going to be against FunPlus Phoenix, the first seed out of the WRL, it doesn't matter. They're looking to play. They've come in here, Almine looking to try and be that hyper carry for his team, and we saw them pick up First Blood against FPX, bring the gold gap very close back to even. Spotting out FPX, you can see 0711 looking for an opportunity there, but spotted out by the ward.
Yeah, we spotted out by the ward, but it means that FPX are going to be able to take this bot tower. The tower platings have gone down. It means they can look here. They got the Demolish as well in the bot side, and they're just going to get the first tower.
Event Horizon will pose a problem for them, though, having difficulty getting out of that for now. FPX has to back away, but it's still fine first tower in that time. Now, sir, when you said nothing wild happened, Omegha picked up First Blood. I think the Brazilian fans really want to hear you say that a couple more times.
There's hope. There's hope. I wanna believe in the Western teams.
We'll do a counter. We'll do a counter. Nothing wild happens. All right. Whenever Stuart says it, we'll see what happens. All right.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it too much. I feel like I'm going to jinx them. I've already cast the cursed EU and NA. I've already done that way too many times. No, I don't want to curse another Western team. I've cursed too many Western teams before. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a reputation here as well. But
Benignis staying nearby, looking to get into the Rift Herald pit, but it's going to be difficult. Look at FPX zoning them away so effectively. Lay goes down first though, but Rift Herald goes over to FPX in that time.
Yeah, but again, it's Omegha the ones that are getting the kills, but this is what we love about FPX. This is why FPX are considered one of the best teams, because they don't need the kills. They don't need to find picks or anything like that. They can just play the map so much better. They go into the bot side, they take the first tower of the game, and now Draven's getting caught.
We saw the exhaust come through. Yes, very close to a kill on the Almine, but Almine with the exhaust will keep him alive and away. Now they go into the mid lane. Selena goes down. This is what happens when you leave the Karma left alone. Still looking for another kill. Fado stuck in the event horizon. He cannot get away. Suits with a barrier will make the difference. 0-7-1-1. Spots out Huya, bidding is off by the jungle. The Riptail charges. But Dragon with Omegha and a couple more kills mid.
Suits is doing really well with these event horizons because it's FPX the ones that are looking to go for the exchanges, going for the engages, going for the aggressive plays that we're not really used to seeing from FPX. But the event horizon, the defensive points of the event horizon coming up means that these bruisers, these melee champions can't dive onto Suits, and he's already 3-0 at the moment, 5,800 gold, the most gold in the entire game at the moment, and could be a win condition for Omegha here.
So you're very quickly getting run down. You see what happens to Draven now, reaching a strong point, especially with Selena's Karma boosting him up. I feel a little silly, you know, I literally just said Suits, the Veigar, the event horizon wasn't going to be that effective, you know, not that reliable, and he's proving me wrong so quickly. He took that personal.
Yeah, he heard you, Grandin. He heard you. He was just like, yep, I'm going to prove you wrong instead.
This caster guy, this Grandin guy, yeah, no, he's wrong. I'm going to show you how it's done.
But I think it just comes down to the comp as well, you know, the kind of last pick here for Suits because of the aggressive... Oh! I tell you what,
nearly 100-0.
I tell you what, another couple of minutes afterwards, and that would have been a complete one-shot by Suits. And you can see already.
7 minutes in right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just going to get more and more damage. You know, Veigar's going to get more and more stacks. There's going to be more and more pressure coming in from Suits as well. Already has a Luden's Echo and the Archangel Staff completed as well. So the Archangel Staff is going to be stacking up. It's going to be looking towards more towards the late game. He's going to get the shield as well, because I think the only way that FPX can really get onto Suits is by trying to jump onto him and trying to play aggressive. But if he has that shield, he should be completely fine. This could be another kill.
Spotted out once again. Lee in a bad position is going to get caught out. The Redemption coming down, but he walks out just in the nick of time. Survives this time around, though.
Yeah, he does survive, but I tell you what, FPX, they're making a few aggressive plays, and this is something we spoke about a little bit in the previous game as well. That FPX were making these over-aggressive plays, maybe getting a little bit too overconfident against the Brazilian first seed. You know, we saw the tower dies, the analyst desk broke down between the games before with 0-7-1-1, and also during into the Nexus as well. And again, they're just going for more aggressive plays.
I mean, Fado just dropped turret aggros. Might want to move back onto Huya. Gets a vital proc, but they won't be able to get a kill. Suits running over once again the Veigar. Phosphorus bomb. We'll see the rocket pop the barrier out from Huya.
He's just there for the wave clear, but Almine, Almine really needs to get a kill. I'm curious how many stacks this Draven has. Yeah, I'm very, very curious how many stacks this Draven has. Probably about, I would say about maybe 150, 200 at this point, which is a lot of gold. And if Draven does die, that means that he's going to be losing half of them stacks. But you can see 0-0-1 at the moment. As soon as Almine gets one kill, that's it. That's a lot of gold in the back pocket for Almine.
Yeah, running away with the game. Omegha, they have win conditions in the late game, and it is going to be Almine. And so how are you going to get there? You're going to have to get him this early kill. Oh, just one. He's not a greedy guy, you know? Sure, he just wants the one kill.
That's all he needs. He just needs the one kill. I mean, Suits has 3 at the moment. If one of them went over to Almine, he would have cashed in. He would have been completely fine. But now he's in a situation where it's just like...
He'd be 2 items right now.
It could be more than 2 items, to be fair. But I think with the objectives coming up as well, it's going to be the second Rift Herald coming up. It looks like Omegha are the ones that want to try and get this vision control. And we saw in the previous game that FPX were always the first one at these objectives, getting the vision control. But now it's Omegha, the ones that are looking to play aggressive, because they have a little bit of the early game, an early game comp with this Draven and Vi.
Not just control of the Rift Herald, but also control in the mid lane. So FPX start to walk over, but they're isolated over by the signs. 0-7-1-1.
Look at Almine, he's
over,
by
but
himself.
Lei goes in, pulls him in. Facebreaker used as well. The Redemption coming down. Lei once again.
Almine get a
run
kill.
down,
No.
giving the kill over to Selena. Almine still does not get his first. FPX trying to force Omegha away. The Riptail resets now. FPX get back on it.
Lei was so low. I was waiting for Almine to get into auto attack range. I don't think he got into range, but even though the kill does go over to Omegha, they're too low on health, and that means the Rift Herald does eventually go over to FPX, and now they're going to look to put pressure towards his top side.
Won't have to use it. They just picked up the turret by themselves. Dragon also coming up quite soon. Omegha, I mean, they were in the gold lead for a while now, but it's a very small deficit they're now facing. They can still win these fights.
Yeah, they can still. They have the scaling as well. They have the scaling for this. This Veigar's going to be stacking up and up and up. As we take a look back at this replay, I was really worried about Almine because it got into a situation where Benignos went in, but look at Almine on the side. He was all by himself, but it was a really nice flash over the wall. Both Suits and Almine flashed over the wall, which means the event horizon is there to stun. And look how low Lei is. It's just one more auto attack from Almine, and he would have been able to get the kill. But the problem is, with so much poke that FPX have with the Corki, with the Jace as well, it means that they're too low and they can't contest with Rift Herald. So they win the team fight, they trade 1 for 0, but again, it's the objectives that go over to the side of FPX.
They get onto the Dragon, but FPX, they have them covered in every single angle, so they just have to walk in, spot them out in the pit. 0711 nearby, trying to get in, try to steal it away, will not be able to get it done, but over at the back, they get the pick off, coming the showstopper, pull them back in. Still looking for something more. 0711 goes down first. FPX once again losing a member, losing the fight, and this time losing the Dragon.
They lost the objective, they lost the fight, and Fado's still going in!
This is a little bit extreme. Fado really trying to find something back for his team, looking to trade back anything here.
The tower's still
picks
there!
Picks up some additional help with the Honey Fruit. Won't be able to get more though.
Someone give Almine a kill, please. Someone give Almine a kill. He probably has so many. He's probably talking to his team right now. Just get me a kill. Get me a kill. That's all I need is 1 kill.
Just 1 kill, man.
That's all we need. This always happens. I think there was a situation in the WREC as well, and I think a Draven had like 300 stacks.
Okay.
300, 400 stacks when we was. I think it was actually me and Hells that was casting that game. It was a Draven with 300 stacks, and then he died. He lost half the stacks. You just think you've been farming up that long, you could have got that much gold, and all you need is 1 kill to get the cash in, the money in the bank, and he dies. And I feel like this is the exact same situation with Almine now. Again, we're not too sure how many stacks he does have, but it's going to be up there. It's going to be up there in the 200, 300s very, very soon, because every single time Draven kills a minion, every single time Draven does pick up an axe, he's going to get more and more stacks towards his passive.
Yep, getting closer and closer towards a very strong point, honestly. Lei once again going to be the one to get caught out here by Omegha. Fado's nearby this time around though, so very difficult for Omegha to push the advantage there.
They are trying to get picks though. I think Benignos on this Vi has played very, very aggressive with his ultimates. Every time he sees a champion, he looks to go in. And this is what we want from Omegha. You know, with the Ashe play and the Lux play that they did before, it was all about taking picks against Buriram. It was about catching them off guard. And this is what I feel like Benignos is doing in this game as well. They're trying to get picks. They're trying to get members of FPX caught off guard where they're isolated by themselves. But there's just not enough damage yet for the side of Omegha. I think they need to wait for this Veigar to scale up a little bit more. Nearly has the Death Cup completed as well.
Once you get to that point, you know, the AP scaling that you have just kind of shoots through the roof, and Suits is going to be so comfortable in these positions. So FPX recognize that. They are playing much more aggressively this game, right? First game, we saw them take things much more slowly, playing for that late game. They knew they had a scaling advantage this time around. Not so straightforward. Yeah,
again, I think it's a little bit maybe of... I hate to say overconfidence, but maybe a little bit of over-aggression on the side of FPX. Maybe disrespecting Omegha a little bit as well.
Disrespect? Yeah. Come on, guys!
I mean, you can see the goal lead as well. This is not this crazy goal lead that we've seen from these Chinese teams. It's not like the 10,000 goal. I think at this point it was like a 10,000 goal lead on the side of FPX. But this time it's a lot closer. We're only looking at about a 1,000 goal lead on the side of FPX, which means that Omegha is still in this game, which is something that we don't really see too much against the Chinese teams.
Absolutely, right? It's been very difficult to hold your own 14 minutes into any game against the WRL team. And Omegha actually doing a very good job of keeping it even, you know? Keeping FPX honest, not giving them these easy fights. You know, FPX, they haven't been punished in a lot of the trades they've been having so far, and now against Omegha, definitely something to watch out for.
They're definitely playing through the vision as well. You can see they've got a lot of defensive walls on the side of Omegha, all towards their own jungle. And as soon as FPX walk in and they try and play aggressive, they try and get the picks. It happened in the early game with the early invade. That Fado did die, unfortunately. And it's been happening over and over again. You can see that Omegha, you know, they got 5 kills. They only got 1 death at the moment, which is over to the side of Silina. But, you know, 1,000 goal lead. They have 2 dragons under their name as well. So, you know, Omegha do have a little bit of the scaling as the ultimate is
for Vision.
Used.
For Vision and Baron.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that. Maybe not the full use that I would have liked to see from a Draven ulti. Maybe I'd like to kill from it instead.
Still hunting for that first kill.
He's still looking for the first kill. I mean, you can see how much gold he has already. I tell you what, if he gets 1 kill, he's going to get like 2,300 gold, just like that. That's the crazy thing about Draven, but
And Omegha, no, like, they don't have to go for the Baron right now. They get the Elder Infernal, like,
Oh,
that
they're
is
gonna
a
catch
wing
him out.
position. They want to get a catch on the set, quickly deleting him. FPX, a man down again.
And that's the pick potential for Omegha with this composition. They've played it before with the Ashe and the Lux. Now it's the Vi and the Veigar, and they can use the Event Horizon to zone out the members of FPX, and now they're going to look towards the next Dragon, which is up in 25 seconds.
Exactly. They know what they need right now. It's that Elder Infernal with the 2 dragons they already have. So easy to play from once they have the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the Infernal Drake is still like 15 seconds, 10 seconds away now. It is the Elder Dragon as well, and it looks like Lei is going to be dead for another 8 seconds. So Omegha, they need to try and look for the vision control now. They need to go towards this Dragon. They need to try and get the vision control and try and catch members of FPS off guard. This is exactly what they've done. They used the Vi ultimate, they used the Event Horizon to get picks, and now they're going to look for the same thing again. But this is very, very tense, Grandin. All it takes is one more team fight, and that's it. The Elder Dragon will go down.
You can feel it right now. FPX know if they give away the Elder Drake, they lose this game potentially, and so they have to run back over. The package was picked up. Selma's going to go back to base, quickly reset, come back in. He has the package for mobility, but he don't have the package for the fight.
I think he just used the package in base as well.
They
I
know.
think it just expired.
Fado wasn't there. Fado went to the top side. They saw him. They started up the Elder Drake.
They're going to start up, but they're just going to back off. They don't want to risk anything because they know that all it comes down to is one more team fight. One more team fight win for both of these teams, and that means the Elder Dragon's taken, especially the Elder Infernal Dragon. That basically means game because of how much stats it gives the team.
Elder Infernal and Baron both up to the victors of the next fight potentially, so you have to be very careful. The game
This is so intense. They could get a pick though. They're
Once
looking for Lei again.
Lei has to flash away, but he managed to pull in. But Ning is so deep under enemy territory. You see FPX nearby, but they don't have the means to hold him in place. Huya over by the side. He has that flash, so he gets it back off once Yezi shows up. But Fado, he's still in the mid lane.
No Karma ulti, no Draven ulti, and no Vi ulti. These are 3 big ultimates now that are down for Omegha, and that means that FPX can look to go forward. They still have a few ultimates itself, including that set ulti.
Suits needs to get work done. He's over by the side right now. They need his damage, they need his crown control. The rest do not have anything left.
It's nothing that really that Omegha can do right now, but FPX, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do the Elder. And instead, Omegha are going to try and get their mid lane pressure. You can see the Baron lane as well. There's a lot of minions going down. There's a lot of gold that's being lost, a lot of experience being lost. But Omegha, they're just going to try and get the mid lane tower instead, but they need to be careful. This map is completely split right now.
And then FPX have no way in. The mid side is
again.
honestly gone entirely over to Omegha. Dragon once again started up. They have vision here going in for this.
Granted, this is so intense right now. All it takes is just one engage, one team fight, and both of these teams can win it. But you can see how patient both these teams are playing. They don't want to take that risk. Already,
mid-wave.
Yeah, already Omegha tried to get that pick onto Lei, but he was able to flash away. But now the Karma ultimate, the Draven, and the Vi ultimates back up. Everyone has their ultimate up. Mostly everyone has their summoner spells up as well. The only summoner spells that are down is Huya's flash and also Lei's flash. Everything else is back up. It all just comes down to this Elder Dragon, but no teams around it at the moment. They're just looking to farm up.
Once again, we see that Draven ultimate used for vision around the Baron. You can start to see now an issue that's starting to arise. Both sides have spent so long on the Dragon. No vision around Baron at all.
There's no vision at all around Baron, but both these teams are so focused towards this Elder Dragon. Baron's just sitting there at the moment. He's just chilling. He's just like, you know, is anyone going to come and kill me?
Omegha saying there's no way you finish this. There's no way you do this. Not while Yetz is up in the top side. He's going to work on the turrets instead.
He's got the Hull Breaker though. He's going to try and look for the split push. He's going to go back to base for now. And look, it's been so long, the Corki package is back up again. It's been that long since the Elder Dragon's come up and he's first pick up his package. That he's just come back up again. And it's just a complete stalemate at the moment, I feel like, Grandin. It's just both these teams are just waiting and waiting for the right moment to go in, but both these teams not looking to take the risk. But now it's Omegha. They've got the vision control around this Elder Dragon. They're going to look to start it as well. Fado's completely split in the bot side. Suits as well. They're just going to try and end this.
Yeah, they've been able to push them out, keep them far away. Gets the kick, knocking them back in. Suits might go down, but he still buys some time using his Hourglass over at the back to try and finish off 0-7-1-1, but still alive for now. You need to take down Lei, you need to take down Fado, because the longer the fight goes on, the stronger they get. Fado over by the side, Owlmine doing so much work out, so much damage. Selma, he goes too far forward, the Valkyrie, but the flash nearly misses the pit, but he gets through in time.
No one dies, Grandin. What is going on? Please, something happened. It's no one's dying. It was originally 0-7-1-1 that looked to try and engage onto Suits, the kick in as well, but the Zhonya's, the Event Horizon from Suits was able for him to survive. Brandon, no one died. What is it?
And you would think Fado was supposed to get a kill. You would think Fado was supposed to die to Almine. You think Selma was supposed to die to Almine. No one dies, and Almine still doesn't get the gold lead, still doesn't get the kill, still does not come back in with a huge lead. I mean, it's so difficult here.
How many stacks does this Draven have? He must have
Too
about
many.
400, 500
Too many,
stacks.
Stuart.
And I think it's at the point in the game where it doesn't even matter, to be honest. I mean, even if he dies now, it just all comes down to one final team fight. But look at FPX again. They're the ones that are trying to get control over the sideways, but they're just going to go for the Elder.
Down to less than 6,000. They have to quickly move into position. Lei flashes away from the event horizon. Fado tries to walk forward. They need to stop Omegha. They don't have to finish the dragon. They don't have to steal it. They need to stop Omegha's attempt on the Elder.
They're going to go for it. This all comes down to a smite fight.
It's 3,000. They have to go for it in the end. It goes over to FPX. They steal away the Elder Dragon. Fado's still alive. Hits it with the repost. Gets the healing down for a team. The event horizon now again.
Draven got killed.
Almine finally gets the kill. And it's on Fado. But the response out from FPX taking down 3 on the other end.
It doesn't matter in the end. Almine gets a kill. He gets the stacks in, but the Elder Dragon goes over to 0711 as we take a look back at his Coca-Cola pop-off. All the spells on the side of Omegha were used. They were trying to get the pick, but they couldn't get it in the end. It all came down to the smite fight. Look at the Elder Dragon. I think it went down to below 1,000 health in the end. 0711. He had the Q. He dashed in 567 health. That's what it comes down to. It's just one play, one smite, one ability. That's all it comes down to. The little things in Wild Rifts make the big difference. And now on the side of FPX, they got the Elder Dragon. They have the bonus stats as well, and they're going to look to try and close out this series.
A little bit unreal here, Stuart.
Wow.
While all that was happening, FPX also nearly got that bot side inhibitor. So I'm looking to see if they can break that one open while they pressure for that Baron.
Wow, this game is still so close. It's so intense. There's only about a 6,000 gold lead, 5,600 gold lead, but the problem is now is that FPX have the Elder Dragon. They have the extra bonus stats from the Elder Infernal.
And even more than that, or if Omegha had got it with 2 dragons.
Yes. That's all it comes down to is that Elder Dragon. Now Omegha are the ones who are on the back foot. They're the ones who are going to have to try and play careful. But they're still going to look for picks. They're still going to try and go in.
And engage onto Selma, but he has to go to the Angel and the Hourglass. It's going to be difficult to hold him down in place. Flash away from Yensid though. The Event Horizon, honestly, so impactful in this game.
And Xiaoma now on this Corki. Hasn't gone for the whole breaker this game. This Corki build is more of an aggressive damage build, you know, with the Essence Reaver, Solari Charge Blade, and Infinity Edge, and it showed in that last fight as well. He did the most damage in the entire fight, which means that this Corki, more aggression, more damage. He is squishier, but it means that he can carry these team fights, and that's exactly what he's done.
But Zeus is reaching a point where he's pretty squishy himself, right? He has a lot of damage, but he doesn't have a lot of survivability. FPX were nearly able to take him down off a couple of spells off just Yensid and Selma.
You can see that Omegha are just using everything to make sure that FPX do not take this Elder Dragon. That Scuttle Crab's actually pretty huge. You might not think it, but that's a pretty huge Scuttle Crab. That means that they'll be able to know if FPX start this Baron.
It means you don't have to use Draven ult for vision.
You can try and get a kill instead. I mean, to be honest, he did get a kill. He did get a little bit of gold, but it's the point in the game where pretty much everyone has full builds, except for the supports. Everyone has all their items. Everyone has at least 4 items. You can see the gold lead. This gold lead has been back and forth for this entire game. But as soon as the Elder drops, you can see the gold lead is steadily going towards FPX hands, because now Omegha, they have to play on the back foot because they know now that they might not be able to win the team fights.
Quite literally explodes in the other direction. I mean, Fado is just going to do Fiora things in the side lane. I mean, very close to taking that turret for his team as well. And so he knows he just has to pressure Huya, get his wave in, get onto that inhibitor, take it for his team.
Yep, he's going to take the inhibitor. He might even try and look to finish the game. Omegha, they have to decide what to do.
This is impressive. I mean, Omegha, they have to try and respond to this, so they're going to have to start backing away. So the Baron started up here by FPX. But on the other side, Beninga's looking for the opportunity to try and steal this one away. Give space to Fado.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to just wait for Fado to keep pushing the bot side. You can see Stillness down here as well. They're going to try and catch up Fado, but that means that FPX are going to try and take the Baron.
Gonna try and take down Fado using 2 members off by the bottom side. Selena has tried to flash away now. They're looking to go onto the Fiora. He starts moving to deal with these guys 2-on-1. You cannot take him down. The only limit is his own mana pool.
And this is exactly what FPX do. They get everything.
Baron goes over to FPX, now looking for 1 kill, looking for 2 kills, looking for 3 kills onto the carries of Omegha. Beningas and Suits down in our mind. You can only buy so much time stuck. Golden and FPX take down multiple members with a another kill on the Selena. Fado in the base for so long, buys time for his team to come in, and FPX, the first seed of the WRL, will keep the dominance of WRL going.
Another Chinese team makes it through as the first seed from the group stage, but big props to Omegha in this game. Omegha did so well to just stop FPX from trying to accelerate the lead that they wanted to try and get. They got the picks, they got a team comp that looked really good against FPX, but all it came down.
Every outer tier 2 turret, except the mid lane tier 2, was gone by the time Elder was started. Omegha were winning, but they just could not convert because of how well FPX
I mean,
them.
the fact that FPX was just able to still, like, if you look at his gold graph, it's still,
crazy.
it looks like they still just won the game. But if you actually watch the game, it felt like Omegha was
It felt like it was
dominating FPX. That's what it felt like. But when you look at this, reality kicks in. They were not dominating. They were doing fine. But then FPX, like, look at the damage graph as well. Corki dealt so much damage. Just FPX won yet again.
Yeah.
They just won.
I mean, I want to go back to the point that you raised as well, Hels. Not having an engaged support here actually really did end up hurting Omegha. Because if you think about it, you want to be decisive, you want to force a fight with the lead that you have. What tools do you have to do that? Vi. That's your only tool to start a fight. Other than that, everything else relies on FPX walking into you. And FPX comp, to their credit,